Hey, it's AG Surfer back again. This is my CGC Blue Label vid part 2. Thanks again to Comic Hoarder 410 Matt for this kind of like a tag or a shout out, or at least a request to make a vid and show off my CGC comics. So I'll get right into it. Again, it's just going to be blue labels, no signatures on these books. The first vid had kind of a taste of some of my signatures of what's to come. So let me go ahead and get this vid out, and I'll talk about the next couple of vids. So again, these are my first. This is my very first CGC books. I purchased them. I didn't submit them. I bought them online. Batman and Robin #1, 9.8. At the time, I'm sure I overpaid for these. I don't know the value on these. I mean, they're not crazy, which is cool, but I think these are still affordable books, and you could probably find them in a nice 9.8 for 30, $40 or less. For this particular title and this particular comic book. But I remember it being a good comic book. Just excited because Frank Miller it was Frank Miller's story, and Jim Lee and Scott Williams cover art. With Jim Lee and those guys and Frank Miller, it's always good stuff. So, and there was two different front covers. Again, the 9.8 blue label and Batman and Robin, and that's the Robin cover. Again, 9.8. At the time, I think I paid, these were 50 a piece, and so I'm sure they may not go for that now. But either way, not a big deal. Those was my first. When I bought these books, I had no clue. I didn't know what CGC was. I just thought, I was kind of reading up a little bit about them at the time, but man, I don't know. When did I get this? Must have been, this was back in '05. So I got these like maybe early of 2006. I bought these books, online, and didn't know anything about CGC, but I just thought it was, well, let me give $50, and I'm a Batman fan, and I was just cool because it's like, it's encapsulated, and I got a Spawn #1 and a 9.8, the great Todd McFarlane. So at least his artwork, his stories, cool, definitely his artwork, and mixed reviews on meeting the guy. For some folks, I've yet to meet him. Don't know if I ever will, but I'll get some more autographs hopefully by Todd. And for the Todd McFarlane autographs, I send those books out. Here's that silver one I was talking about, so I was really stoked to find because I had the two regular covers. I was like, oh crap, did I buy two regulars and miss out on the silver? So there's the silver edition, 9.8. Todd McFarlane again, Spider-Man #1. Again, they did three covers, silver, gold, and regular. And then I guess this book just did phenomenal in sales. They came up with a platinum edition of a cover. It's called a platinum edition. I do have the platinum. It is not CGC'd, and I think my platinum. I think the platinum edition I have would probably get a nice mid grade. I don't know if it's like a 6.5 or higher, give or take. My platinum was a tough one because since the sales in that book did so phenomenal, that's why they came out with a platinum cover of that one. And yet I think the platinums were mailed out to distributors or something. It wasn't. So the platinum Spider-Man, the production run on it's pretty low, and then of course getting it at a high grade again is tough because of the issues that were released and the conditions that they get them in. This is a really nice. I've seen this in a couple of vids lately, and this was a gift by my buddy. He came across some slabbed books and says, "Hey, I found somebody." He's not a comic book guy per se, but he knows that I like comics. So when he goes to garage sales and goes to places, every once in a while I'll get a text and he'll say, "Hey, dude, I'm coming across this material. I come across this stuff. You interested?" He'll send me pictures. Gotta love that technology, right? With the cell phones now, you get pictures and all that. So he sends me information about these slabbed books, and I'm like, "Yeah, bro, for that price, pick them up." So the last issue of Superman, done by, it's got to be that's George Perez. Where's the name? Of course, it's right there on the front cover. There, Alan Moore, awesome. Kurt Swan and George Perez. And this one is an old school label. That's why I was really stoked. So these are my first old school CGC modern grade of a 9.0, a red label. And being told that the CGC old labels, they were pretty strict on those grades. So if you crack it open and resubmit it, chances are it's going to come back a little higher. That's what they say. I don't know that I'm going to do it. I'm just stoked to own these because you won't find these anymore per se. You'll just, they're not doing this anymore. So if you find these are kind of like a nice thing to have in a collection. Infinite Crisis, the first issue, and first appearance of the Blue Beetle and Detective Carp in DC Comics. So that was good to know, because I did not know that. So what's nice about some of those labels. An old blue label, 9.6. CGC. Again, gift from my bud. He came across these. Daredevil #1. I thought this was the Marvel Knights edition. Yeah, Marvel Knights edition. And this one is it's Volume 2, #1. I was pretty stoked to have that. Joe Quesada. It's a grade of a 9.6. Sorry guys, I'm gonna try to get through these pretty fast. Looking at my time, and I know I gotta get to work, earn the money to make it. Spider-Man, Wizard the Half. I don't know, Wizard series or something. The cover's cool. I digged it. Again, gift from my bud. Red foil logo edition, Wizard Special Edition. So it looks like it was 1998. White pages at a 9.6. Look at those old labels. So that's pretty much it for the old labels, guys. Some books I've shown off before, more or less. One of my favorites. The color. This book just presents itself really nice. It just has it's got some water staining, you know. But a book eventually I wouldn't, maybe I'll upgrade, possibly. This is probably a character that's going to take off. You know, they're going to do a movie or something, or they're going to mention him at some point, and then the Submariner stuff's just going to go, maybe get a little more out of hand, get out of hand. But Submariner #1, blue label, 5.0. I like that nice mid-grade, but I usually like to try to keep them. I don't know, old books, I'll deal with that. That's cool because they get pricey, but I like to try to keep my grades, I think, about a 6 or higher. But I do have, obviously, books under a 6. But because this presents so well, and the colors on it are sharp, that's what I like. Because this book's tough to get a nice blue. It's usually pretty faded. And whatnot. So 5.0 Submariner, love that. Book from 1968. I shouldn't even have to look. I know it's 1968, man. 68's a good year. The Man Called Nova, #1, and graded at a 9.0. So, good stuff. Hustle, hustle. Book I've shown off before. Cap, 111. The great Jim's the great. He still is great. Jim Steranko artwork. Didn't get this one signed by him, but 7.5. I had an opportunity to possibly get it signed, but enough of that. Another Jim Steranko. Strange Tales, Nick Fury, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And Doctor Strange. You always forget to mention Doctor Strange. But 8.5 and Jim Steranko. Hustling through, folks. Hustling through a little bit here. Beautiful Jim Steranko, X-Men. I mean, this is where he changed the logo, the font style. Boom, big letters, X-Men. I always want to say Uncanny, but it obviously didn't become Uncanny just yet. It was still X-Men. But issue 50, Steranko, Polaris on the cover. 6.0, man. Not too shabby. Beautiful cover. And here's one that was hiding. Came from my bud. 30 Days of Night by Steve Niles and Ben Temple-Smith. IDW. You know, some vampire stuff. Not too familiar with it, but it was in that lot that he gave me with the old labels. 9.4. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. Alright, down my last couple, so I can get through this, man, at my time. I'm cool. You know, when I came across this book, I was a little bummed. Because I know this book's going around a lot lately. Because he's going to be in Civil War. The Red Hulk. I was bummed because it's issue #2. It's not issue 1. So I gotta go I have to go find an issue 1 before it gets too out of control. But a nice, you know, this is only a second printing, but I like the artwork by Ed McGuinness and Dexter Vines. Jeff Loeb's story. But it's a 9.8. And this one is so I can get it going here. It's a wraparound. It's a wraparound cover, and there's Iron Man. Iron Man's not happy. He's fighting that dude. He's like, it's bad enough I got to fight the regular Hulk. You know, at least I can kind of maybe talk to the regular green dude, but the red dude, not so familiar with, so that's going to be a tough battle there, man. So Iron Man was having a rough day. Alright, back to one of my favorite artists here. Man, love this, man. Just beautiful sketch cover. It's Silver Surfer. You know, that's why I took the term Agey Surfer. Oop, let that slip. But Silver Surfer, Love him. One of my favorites. Look at that blue in the sketch, and it's the the new Fantastic Four Wizard World Philadelphia exclusive, East Coast, East Con edition. 9/8. Talking about this book, Michael Turner, man. Stoked. And another Civil War Chronicles, #1, Michael Turner, white pages. 9/8. Love that book. Alright guys, I got a couple of gems in my collection. I like to call them gems. I love that 9/9 Thor I got. This one's definitely right up there with that 9/9 Thor. 9/9 Thor. Sounds like I'm trying to call in numbers. 8675309, Jenny. Sorry. Flashback to some music. The 9/9 Thor I have by Michael Turner. This one is just right here, man. It's a tough book to get, I believe. One of my favorite J. Scotts. Very fortunate. It took me a couple years to find this and get one. They don't come up on auction too much to bid for, and not too many folks selling these. So if you could find one and you're a J. Scott fan and don't mind spending some scratch, obviously go for it. But the Black Cat, #1 variant edition, and it's from 2010. This one is a 9/8. So this is again just a beautiful cover, beautiful artwork by J. Scott. This is like a top-notch book in my opinion. Again, one of the gems in my collection. So love it. I'll just leave it up there for a while. See, Batman's got a new cat in town, man. Batman always attracts the cats. Cat ladies, cat women, and the black cat. Spidey's going to get a little jealous. Alright, so with that being said, I want to thank Comic Order 410 again. These were just my Blue Label CGC books. And you know what, it's going to maybe a couple of weeks before I come back with my other CGCs to show those off. I'm going to be busy for the next couple of weeks, so I don't know that I'll be on YouTube quite at all for a while here. Take a little break. Got some stuff I got to do. I'll try to watch vids and comment when I can, but this might be it for me, guys, for a while. So I really appreciate everybody watching my vids, tuning in, and checking out my channel. Leave me comments. It means a lot. And I'll try to get back to you with when you leave comments. YouTube seems to be funny sometimes. I mean, I'll check my emails, and I'm thinking, okay, no one's leaving me any messages, which is fine. But then I'll go to my vids, and my vids, like, my views are high. And there's been a few times where I've gone into the vids, and I've seen messages. So I'll frequently check out my own vids because I know that those messages are there on the vids channel itself, but they're not, I'm not getting that message from YouTube or whatever. So again, appreciate everybody, and you guys all have a great weekend out there, and keep on collecting, and take care. Thanks again, guys.